In an exceptionally bizarre interview with Sean Hannity at a Steak and Shake this week, Health and Human Services leader Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said that it would be better for the United States if everybody just got measles. In the middle of a measles outbreak here in the United States, 220 people in Texas, we're now seeing cases pop up in other states across the country as well. One 6-year-old child has died from it. And by the way, earlier this week, Kennedy actually said that it's very uncommon for a healthy person, to die from measles. So if we were all a little more fit, or if we, ate better, if we had better diets, he said people wouldn't die. He literally victim shamed the dead 6-year-old girl, and then goes to Steak and Shake for an interview with Hannity saying that we should all just get measles because then we'd all have immunity. This man is such an insane anti-vaxxer that he's gone so far into the anti-vax movement that he's now creating national immunity. Like he's almost recreating vaccines because he's so anti-vax. He wants everybody to be immune. If only there were a way to give people, maybe like a deadened version of the virus so that their immune system could still respond to it, but, maybe they won't get sick from it. This idiot has just recreated vaccines in his worm-addled brain. But here is what Kennedy said word for word. And I'm not going to try to do the voice. If it used to be, when I were a kid, that everybody got measles, and the measles gave you lifetime protection against measles infection. The vaccine doesn't do that. The vaccine is effective for some people for life, but for many people it wanes. Immunity is immunity, bud. Here's the other part of this. You tried so hard to sound smart. You try so hard to make people think you know what the fuck you're talking about. But you don't. You are probably one of the dumbest people on the planet to talk about anything relating to medicine. Here's the thing. For the people where it wanes, natural immunity wanes also. Because do you know why it's waning? Because as they got older, perhaps due to just old age, perhaps due to other illnesses they've had or other medical conditions, their overall immunity wanes. It's not because the vaccine is failing, it's because their whole system is basically failing. That's kind of common knowledge. But you, the elderly director of Health and Human Services, I might add, don't know that? That's terrifying. You shouldn't even be in charge of your own health, let alone the health of the nation. And then he gets even dumber. It does not appear to provide maternal immunity. It used to be that very young kids were protected by breast milk. Women who get vaccinated do not provide that level of immunity that the natural measles infection did. So you're now seeing measles hit very young kids and hitting older people within whom the vaccine has waned. Okay, well, I already explained the waning. And also, medically speaking, you're 100% wrong about vaccinated women not passing that on through breast milk. Yes, they fucking do. Like, freaking, he's so dumb that I feel like I'm going to get an aneurysm trying to read this man's words. But here's the thing. For about the first 6 months of life, it does not go on past that. Sometimes it doesn't even last 6 months. Breast milk from a mother does in fact pass the mother's immunities onto the child. It doesn't matter if it's a natural immunity or if it's a vaccine immunity. It passes it on to the child. Scientific studies have repeatedly confirmed that. In fact, there's not a single scientific study that negates that. So he's lying. But here's the kicker. I don't think he's lying. I genuinely think he is that dumb that he doesn't know that. He has read so much bullcrap about the issue, he has turned himself stupid. Because this is a guy I worked with right here at Ring of Fire. He wasn't stupid then. He started getting stupid about vaccines. And then he left and went on and did his own, thing with all that, and not a part of Ring of Fire. But he read so much false information that he literally made himself dumber. And now this very dumb person is in charge of the health of the country. Sitting here telling us that, man, if only there was a way to kind of give everybody a little bit of measles. The vaccine. That's what that is, dude. That's what it is. He went on to say something else that was also completely false. He said, it does cause deaths every year. That is not even close to being true. In fact, he then says, it causes all the illnesses that measles itself causes, like encephalitis and blindness, etc. In a few very rare instances, absolutely it has. But measles causes those things. The vaccine is only known to cause that in 1 or 2 out of 1 million doses. And that's just encephalitis, not even blindness. And the encephalitis also goes away. So 2 out of 1 million may experience temporary encephalitis, according to the actual data, the data that his own department has access to. So he's lying about that. He's lying about people dying from it every year. Everything that comes out of this man's mouth right now is an absolute lie. He is no different than Donald Trump, no different than Elon Musk. They're all a bunch of damn liars trying to push an agenda to put more money in their own pockets. That's what's happening here. If you want health advice, ask somebody that went to medical school. Ask multiple people with PhDs. RFK Jr. didn't go to medical school. He doesn't have a PhD. His expertise is not in human health. It's not. That's not what he went to school for. That's not what he did for, the first 55, 60 years of his life. No, didn't know anything about it. So trust me when I tell you to not trust that man. Welcome to the Ring of Fire YouTube channel. I am Farron Cousins, the host of Ring of Fire here on YouTube. I don't know if this is your first time here, or maybe you're somebody who comes here every single day, but either way, let me tell you what's going on. Ring of Fire was actually started in the year 2004 by none other than our own America's lawyer, Mike Papantonio. And over the last 20 plus years, Ring of Fire has gone from being a 1-hour weekend radio program on Air America through a series of changes. Go Left TV, which we started back in 2007. We've been on the Young Turks network. And of course, this very YouTube channel here that started, obviously, as they all do, with no subscribers. And we've now ballooned to well over 1 million as we go on our way to that 2 million mark. So again, if this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe. Take a few minutes, look around. We have content that actually goes back 20 years. So there's lots to see, there's lots to do. And trust me, with the next 4 years of Donald Trump getting back in office, we will be here every day, every single day with fresh content for you to keep you informed about what's happening and, of course, to warn you of the potential dangers that Donald Trump poses as we approach his second term.